I think this is going to go fourth quarter.
Well, welcome to Springfield, Missouri, site of the 33rd Annual National Christian Homeschool Basketball Championships. We've had a great week, and we just finished it. If you were watching, you saw the MHEA Eagles out of Memphis complete the second-to-last step in their journey to try to win 5 straight undisputed national championships in the boys 18U division. Now we move to the other Final Four game where the Tennessee Heat have advanced farther than they ever have in homeschool basketball. Last year they got knocked out in the Elite Eight. This year they're in the Final Four facing a tough Parker Tarrant Warriors team out of Fort Worth, Texas that has all kinds of veteran leadership. These guys have been around for a while. So the newcomer on the block versus the veterans, and we'll see what happens. The Warriors in the purple and gold, Tennessee in the white uniforms with the black and red trim. Scott Staten joined alongside with Jeremy Caldwell, Thomas Sanders, and guys expecting another good one here.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a good one here. I think this is going to come down to the fourth quarter. We just soon put 8 minutes on. Let's play it out, but we got to play all 32, so let's see what we got.
Man, it's going to be an exciting one, isn't it?
Can't wait. Tip goes to Dismang for Tennessee and into the hands of the coach's son, Thatcher Bond. Bond all-region in the Midwest. They were the runner-up. Lost to an HHBA team out of Virginia that got knocked out a little bit earlier in this national tournament, and it's Tennessee that's still alive. On the drive here, Lewis, nice bounce pass. Dismang follows his own miss and puts it in. Great follow by Carson Dismang, and first points of the board go to Tennessee. BT Warriors now on the attack. They get it to Aguilar, down to Pike, the big man on the block. Back out top. Timothy Jones going to drive, stop at the block, put it up, rolls off the right side into the hands of Isaac Asigan. Asigan, the guard for Tennessee. He has been their leading scorer, averaging over 15 a game here in this tournament. Oh, beautiful bounce pass, fine. This time they switch roles. Dismang to Bond. Bond with the easy two, and it's 4-0 Tennessee.
And what a start for Tennessee, right? 2 backdoor cuts, steal in the open court.
Asigan with the steal, going to take it all the way in. Too strong. Bond battle for it. Off of the leg of the Warriors. Yeah, you couldn't ask for a quicker start if you're Tennessee.
No, they came for this game. You can tell they're ready, they're prepared, they're hyped. Although the new kids on the block, they seem very confident from the jump.
Yeah, both teams was in the gym watching what Memphis just did with their guards and how they had success. It looks like Tennessee's coming out doing the same thing.
Bond in the corner. He is deadly from there. He sank, I believe, 7 three-pointers yesterday in their gold ball win over the Houston Raiders.
One thing I like against the zone that Tennessee's doing is how quick they're moving these passes. They're not holding it much. It's pop, pop, pop. I'd love to see them get into the high post a little bit to kind of make him move. But right now, early, they're getting pretty good ball movement on the perimeter.
Asigan long on the three-pointer. Rebound into the hands of Pike. Toby Pike, the all-Big South player. 19.6 points, 14.5 rebounds a game. But here's Asigan again with the steal. Switches sides. Oh, what a nifty move to avoid the block by Pike. 3 different Heat players on the board now, 6-0. Tennessee in front.
It's an early run here by Tennessee Heat.
Looks like they're going to start out in that zone and try to stop Pike down low. And then that time Pike on the spin move, double team. And he gets called for the travel, and we got a quick timeout. Oh, no, we got a substitution. Looked like a timeout, but that's going to be a substitution into the game. Number 11, Wyatt Houston. Houston averaging 11 points off the bench for his squad. They need some help right now. They're down 6-0. Quick start for Tennessee. Bond in the corner. Going to work to his left. Tennessee got great guard play. Here's Craig Lewis. Lewis bounces it into Dismang. Dismang back out top. Jacob Banker. The Heat basically play 7 players. Here's Bond from deep. He was on line. You could tell that from where we were sitting immediately. Thatcher Bond from outside, and it is 9-0 to start this game. Pike stops. Shoots the free throw jumper. No good. Asigan with the rebound. Tennessee on the attack again. 9-0 start for the team out of Nashville. And here's Dismang up and over Jones. Just drops it in. 11-0 start.
I believe if you get a non-score possession here and give up another bucket, you're probably going to see a timeout by PT.
I'm almost surprised that he didn't call this on the dribble up here.
Well, there's something for him finally. Wyatt Houston off the bench comes in and gets points on the board for his squad. First 2 of the game for him and for his team. Almost 4 minutes into this one. Dismang working on Pike, and he muscles that one in. The big man over the big man.
What a start for Dismang, right? Backdoor passes, over-the-shoulder jump hooks. Man, he's had an explosive beginning first 4 minutes of this quarter.
Houston that time couldn't get the little baseline jumper to go, and so here comes Tennessee again. They've got a 13-2 lead. Lewis down the middle, split everybody and up over his head. Put some English on that one, and the Tennessee faithful making some noise. 15-2 start for the Heat. What do you do if you're PT right now? I mean, you came out and just in the first round got just sucker punched almost.
So the first thing you have to consider is you got to look at coming out of this zone right now. But some of this comes down to just mano-a-mano, keeping the ball out of the lane. Like, they've just diced them on turnovers, dribble penetration, transition. I mean, explosive start. The one thing I also have to say if you're PT is I don't know if Tennessee's missed a shot yet. That's gonna change. They're not gonna make every shot tonight. So calm down. Don't panic. Play your game.
Yeah, early in the game, only 4 minutes have passed. Although they've put up 15 points in a flurry, but offensively you can score. You just got to get a little bit in rhythm, a little shell shocked right now, a little rattled here early on. The Tennessee Heat is going to keep the pressure on.
Well, yeah, and eventually they're gonna. This is what you have to avoid.
Wow, another steal, but the ball ricocheted off of the leg of Lewis. Greg Lewis already signed with Fisk University, an HBCU down in Tennessee. So he'll be playing again next year, and his backcourt mate, Isaac Assigan, also with several offers, including a full ride scholarship to Rhodes College, which is an elite academic school. I believe he got a 34 or 35 on his ACT, so he's got a lot of options, not just athletic. And both of these guys showing off why they're so talented and recruited. Here's a 3 by Timothy Jones. It's no good. Dismang with the strong board work. Vaughn going to bring it up for Tennessee. Here's Dismang again. Assigan.
So far, the game looks a little similar to the game we just got through watching, where Thatcher Bond there once again.
Bond with 7 early points. Boy, his jumper is money. I mean, it is smooth as silk.
His release is super fast. Now we've seen him hit it off the catch and off the bounce. So if this continues, PT's really going to have to adjust to his, just almost face guard him.
Good answer by Pike there as he flips it over a reached-out hand of Jacob Banker.
And I was saying a while ago, Tennessee, he is following the same game plan that Memphis played, is get paint touches every possession.
Bond for 3. That one's a little short.
And then PT came out early, just shooting a lot of long shots.
Corner 3 for Houston for PT. No good, and a rebound by Banker. Tennessee with the ball. Here comes Assigan. 2-on-2. Going to spin around his defender. Stop. Over to the corner. Lewis for 3. Got it. And the foul. He's done that a couple times this tournament. Lewis, a lot of times you see him as a driver and a defender. But, man, when he needs a three-pointer, he's ready to pull that trigger.
Yeah, that was a quick catch and shoot there. And a closeout by PT. Toby, number 5, Michael Morgan, just closed out too far. Now he's going to put him to the line, possibly a 4-point play.
Lewis completes the 4-point play. That is his 6th point of the game. And, wow, huge bucket there. After Pike got his first 2 of the game down at the other end. A 4-point play for Craig Lewis. And the lead now at 17 with 2 minutes to go here in the first. That time Pike blocked by Banker. Blocked again by Groth. And now they're tied up. Pike still fighting for the ball and finally gets a foul called. He will be at the free throw line.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that PT still looks almost a little shell-shocked at this moment. It's kind of like, what just happened? And a lot of this from Tennessee is happening initiated by the dribble drive from Isaac Assigan and number 1. Oh, excuse me. the other guard for Tennessee Heat, they're just attacking.
Craig Lewis.
Craig Lewis
Yeah,
putting so much pressure on the defense.
Yeah.
It's creating this offense, really powerhouse. They put 21 points in 6 minutes.
Pike misses the second. Yeah, they're on pace to break 100. I mean,
yes.
This is like an NBA game. They feed it again to Pike. Pike falls down, kicks it back out to Jones for three. He got it. Or I'm sorry, that was Aguilar, not Jones. David Aguilar with the three.
I thought it was Jones too.
21-8. Maybe a little bit of an answer here. Back down to 13. Lead for Tennessee early. I mean, they came out of the gates on fire. They were up 17, but a little bit of a run here by the Warriors. Bond from the free throw line. Too strong. Rebound inside by Banker. Great board work. Asigan, three. Got it.
Asigan is having himself a ball game. Dribble drive, catch and shoot, getting teammates involved. He's off to an incredibly hot start.
Lead is 16 with just over a minute to go here in the first quarter of this boys 18U Division I Final Four game. On the drive, dish. Put up and in. Nice job by Wyatt Houston. He's come off the bench to score 4 quick points in this quarter. But they have not been able to stop the Tennessee Heat.
No, they PT came out and just kind of got shell-shocked the first 4 or 5 minutes.
That time Bond might have rushed it, but Groth there to clean it up and put it in. Sam Groth off the bench with points.
That's the sixth player for Tennessee Heat that scored this quarter already.
And they do that. They've got a 7-man rotation, and I guess ball was knocked out of bounds, but they pretty much have 7 guys that they play, and those 7 they ride or die with. I mean, and they so far have just in this tournament been unstoppable. On the inbounds, there's Aguilar on the block. Nice spin move.
Aguilar is coming and giving PT some good minutes off the bench.
5 points for him. Here comes Tennessee on the attack. Closing seconds of this first quarter. A 14-point lead for Tennessee over the PT Warriors. Lewis over to Senecola now off the bench for Tennessee. 4 seconds left. Lewis steps inside, stops at the corner of the free throw line. No good. And it rolls off the rim. Tennessee, the Heat, came out hot, and they lead it 26-12 over the PT Warriors here in this boys 18U Division I Final Four game. Winner will face MHEA in tomorrow night's Undisputed Championship. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. Second quarter action. This Final Four game, boys 18U, where the Tennessee Heat came out on fire. PT Warriors going to try to answer. They get the opening possession. A missed shot by Houston. Back the other way comes Asigan. Point guard drives it down off the glass, rolls off, rebound by Pike.
Look at the tempo that Asigan's playing with. Like, he is always pushing the issue, putting pressure on that defense consistently. And right now, that's part of that PT Warriors. I think they're used to a slower pace, and he's just consistently forcing the issue offensively.
Yeah, great observation there. He did that throughout the Midwest. They really looked like the team to beat, and they got beat in the final game by HHBA, but HHBA out of it now. And then on the miss, that time, Groth might have rushed that a little bit. That's the first time Tennessee didn't really kind of work through their offense there. On the entry pass, there's some contact there. A tie up underneath. That was Dismang and Pike, and they're going to call a foul. Was that a foul or a jump ball? No, a foul.
On Toby Pike for PT Warriors, I believe.
I think they called that on number 11.
You're right, he did.
I thought it was on Pike as well.
It's on Wyatt Huston,
But it was,
not?
yep, it was.
Yeah, they called that on Wyatt Houston.
All right, so Tennessee back with the ball. Just about 1 minute into this second quarter. Tennessee looking like a team on a mission, trying to make it an all-Tennessee final in the Undisputed tomorrow as MHEA just advanced with a big win over the Red River Rattlers. Tennessee now trying to continue that pace, stay up with MHEA and meet them maybe in the championship, but they've got a ways to go here. Assigan for three. His second three of the game.
He's got 10 points on the game so far.
On the inbounds, ball knocked away. That was Dismang again on the denial. Just a solid game from Carson Dismang so far. He scored some points. He's played the defense on Pike, kept him at bay. And on the inbounds, ball knocked away. They wanted to get over in the corner to Thomes. Toby Thomes has had a great tournament, really just providing all kinds of energy and points. But so far tonight, he's been quiet. On the inbounds to Pike, he spins to his left. Blocked by Dismang. What a block. Tennessee now the other way. The Heat. Lewis going to drive it into the paint. Bounce pass to Dismang. Almost lost it. Flips it over to Groth. His shot is no good. And now it goes into the hands of the Warriors. Nice job avoiding that because the defense didn't seem to be like where they were supposed to be. But lucky for them, no shot goes in for Tennessee. And then the other way, looked like Jones just kind of out of control there.
Yeah, another turnover there. He felt a little contact, thought he was going to get a foul, but you're not going to get that foul in this type of game. The referee's going to let that margin of contact go, and you're going to have to play through some of that.
So it looks like PT's holding in a 2-3 zone. If I'm not mistaken, I want to watch down here. It looked like Tennessee Heat has gone to man-to-man pressure. I want to watch it again, but they may have switched up defenses against PT. I assume early in the game they were going to the zone to try to slow down Pike in the post.
Senicola into the game for Tennessee. Now he's applying pressure on the full court. He's another one of those Tennessee players with lots of energy that he brings off the bench. Thomes up top to Jones. Back over to Thomes. Oh, he tried to bounce pass it, but it kind of got hung up in the air, and the ball just too hard off the ground into the hands of the Heat. Here comes Tennessee, leading by 17. Thatcher Bond over to Isaac Assigan. Assigan being guarded by Jones up against that timeline, but he knew where he was. Going to take their time here, work it around until they get what they want. Dismang.
Good patience here about Tennessee Heat. Not to force anything. You don't want to get a turnover and let PT get any type of rhythm.
So for those viewers who may be newer to the game, right now PT Warriors sitting in a 2-3 zone. On offense, Tennessee's going to want to get that ball into the paint at some point.
Oh, Senicola that time overthrew Assigan, and then quickly the other way. Opportunistic. Toby Thomes. He's done that this whole tournament.
Well, one thing we're seeing, I've seen it all tournament long, teams get up, and they have a tendency to kind of want to contract and air the ball out. You saw Tennessee doing that, and almost time for time we've seen it again where turnovers end up happening, particularly this early in the game.
Yeah.
You forget, you got here by playing assertive and aggressive. Don't stop now. Play the game that got you in this place.
Agreed, Thomas, and that's a great point. Dismang, fake the three, going to kick it back out top. Assigan, entry level to Banker. Here's Groth for three. Got it. Not Groth, rather. That was Thatcher Bond.
Thatcher Bond has ice water. What a shot.
Yeah.
Was it 11 now for him, I believe. Is that correct?
I think so. He is on fire. 32-14. Boy, every time the Warriors get an answer, the Tennessee Heat come right back, and that offense is just absolutely potent. They're on a pace to hit an NBA score by the end of this thing, and you got to think, the way that they're playing, you've got to not only figure out how to stop them on the defensive end, but Warriors having trouble getting any points on the board against them. Just 14, 12 minutes into this one.
Yeah, it's one of these things now, if you're PT, you're looking at this thing and thinking really one possession at a time. You're not going to climb back in shooting threes. You just have to take stops on defense and then good shots on offense.
Yeah, that aggressive extended defense that Tennessee Heat is playing is really bothered PT and their guards. They're not able to get the ball into Toby Pike, which is their main offensive scheme. And if they're not able to get into that because of the pressure, Tennessee Heat's not going to pull out of it. They're going to stay full court, just pressure the ball, not really trying to trap. They're just trying to pressure the ball and get you out of rhythm.
Well, Assigan's causing fits right now for PT.
Yeah.
As you watch him, like he's tipping the ball, he's touching the ball, he's putting a ton of pressure, and it's making these PT guards very uncomfortable. Just watch him here. He's all over the place.
Pressure applied by the Heat. PT trying to figure out this defense. Boy, it is ferocious.
Yeah, it's kind of a 1-2-2.
You typically don't see zones this aggressive. And credit to Tennessee. They are executing this zone beautifully.
Here's Aguilar for three. Got it. David Aguilar, his second three of the game. He's got 8 now. His team, though, still trailing by 15.
PT staying in that 2-3 zone.
Looked like the Warriors a little more patient that time to get the shot that they wanted. And Tennessee going to do the same thing.
So, Scott, this is what I'm talking about. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand the thinking here. I feel like we're early in the game to play this. You're up 15, and
right.
I don't know. I don't quite understand the perspective on it since we're only in the second quarter, midway through.
It's almost like going into prevent defense before the half.
Correct, and maybe they're trying to pull PT out of this zone.
Right. Sinicola, boy, he had an opening, but just shot was off. Other way now, Warriors. And Aguilar gets fouled. They'll bring it in from the sideline in front of the Tennessee bench.
That's Senecola's first foul. And this is a prime example of why I'm a very heavy advocate for shot clock in high school basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% agree.
I mean, we got the clock up there, right?
Well, yeah, we were talking about it. We were talking about it, Scott, just a couple of days ago. Maybe Homeschool Nationals is the one that rolls this thing out in a few years. You never know.
That's right. Be the trailblazer. Oh, that time they had Houston underneath, but he kind of got happy feet and just traveled. Tennessee back with the ball. Warriors had an opportunity there to cut into this lead and get a little closer than they had been in a while, but they turn the ball over and back into the hands now of Tennessee and Lewis and Bond up top. Lewis going to drive, back it out.
So PT content to stay in this 2-3 zone. At some point, I believe Tennessee is just going to try to pull them out by airing this thing out.
Here's Sinicola for three. That's too strong. Dismang with the rebound and the putback. What a game by Carson Dismang.
That's 8 quick points for him here in the first half. Thatcher Bonds has 8 points. Segan has 10 points. They're just spreading it around really well as a team right now, and PT has no answer.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job. They've got a trio of players they're using on Pike. That time, Pike too strong. He was guarded by Jacob Banker, one of the three. They've had Banker, Dismang, and Groth kind of take turns on him, and that way they don't get into foul trouble and also just really making Pike work so hard.
He missed Disbang there on that closeout.
Oh, Dismang with the fine underneath the Banker. He missed the shot. He was under the basket, but the ball went off of Houston. And now into the game again for Tennessee. They'll bring back in Assigan, who got himself a little bit of a breather, and also Sam Groth. You might have heard that name last year. His brother Ben just had a great tournament. Out of the game, Dismang and Sinicola. What a game by Carson Dismang. He's going to catch some rest here as we end up his first quarter. Oh, nice block there by Pike as Groth tried to put one up on the inbounds.
Yeah, speaking of Groth, if you watch homeschool basketball last year at Nationals here, Thatcher Bond throws down another mid-range jumper.
It probably could have been an and one jump shot there, too, with some contact after the release.
I'm not sure next to Pike I would make the too small sign. When you're that size. I don't know if he meant to do that or if his hand was down. But, and on the miss by Houston, Askin comes down with it. He is tied up by Aguilar, but it will go to the Heat.
You know, Tennessee Heat, for the first time here this quarter, got some in-out action on that high-low.
Yeah.
And, right now they're airing it out. Again, if I could speak anything Tennessee Heat, continue what you're doing. You're playing amazing basketball in that high-low action, attacking in transition. If I'm a Tennessee Heat fan, I'm nervous to see this air-out mentality this early in the game.
Only in the second quarter.
And is that what it is? Are they just trying to pull them out of this, and until they do, they're just going to keep taking their time?
That's my best guess because we're still in the first half. You don't typically see this early. Kind of a chess match between coaches, huh?
Yeah.
Who's gonna give in first?
And it can't be fatigue because even though they only play 7 players, the Heat last night went against a really unmanned team that was just down a couple men, and I mean they played a game of 5-on-4 basically the entire game. So it wasn't like they were in a competition last night where their legs are just tired and they need some rest. This has to be strategy, and I guess they went out such a big lead. They're just content to let that clock keep going. 36-17. They're up 19 right now. And the closing seconds of this first half. Here's Groth, the spin. Over in the corner, Asigan fakes the 3. Oh, Bond got it. He has been money from outside at the perimeter shot after perimeter shot. He is well into double digits, and the lead is 22 for the Tennessee Heat as we hit halftime of this boys 18U Division I Final Four game. The Heat on top of the PT Warriors. We're going to take a break, catch our breath, and be back with the second half after this word from our sponsor.
When it hurts, real time it. Ouch! When it hurts, real time it. When it hurts, real time it.
We are at Springfield, Missouri, 33rd Annual National Christian Homeschool Basketball Championships. We're at halftime. Boy, it has been a Tennessee kind of night. A Heat with a 39-17 lead as we head into the second half over the PT Warriors in this boys 18U Final Four game. Heat came out on fire, and they have not stopped since. They slowed it down some, but the lead just continued to grow, and the Warriors got to figure something out here. Here's Pike. His jumper no good from the baseline. Rebound to Dismang. He has been a chairman of the board today, just cleaning up everything that comes off the glass. On the drive, Lewis all the way to the goal. Greg Lewis having a game.
Yeah, Tennessee Heat outscored PT 13-5 in that second quarter.
Well, we were talking before the break about this possible airing out of Tennessee Heat and wondering if this is some type of chess match, zone, man. We see a play like that from Craig Lewis, and maybe that's what PT Warriors coach knows, that they can't match up on that man-to-man.
Meanwhile, Aguilar connects on his third three-pointer of the game. Boy, that was almost on the Warriors bench that he shot that. Trying to keep them in the game here, 41-20, a minute into this third quarter.
He's been about the only bright spot for PT thus far in this game. Buried 3 triples so far.
Lewis up and under. That time got stuck too far. Dismang got the rebound, fights for the board. Pike knocks it out of his hand. Scramble, and here come the Warriors. Timothy Jones. Oh, contact with Lewis, and Lewis was definitely moving on that. That's going to be a foul on him. So the two guards for the Tennessee Heat, Asigan and Lewis, both picking up a foul hill early in the third period. Into the game comes Toby Thomes. Thomes has been Mr. Microwave all week for the Warriors. He comes off the bench and just instant heat, instant offense, and let's see if he can give them a little spark here now. Here he is from the corner. Thomes for 3. In and out. Rebound Pike. Pike got behind Banker and put it in.
Pike did a beautiful job of keeping that ball high. Coaches teach bigs, do not bring it down. He did not there and was able to turn, finish, and get 2 more points on for PT.
Bond to Dismang, and then Dismang had trouble pulling that in, but Thomes reached in and grabbed him on the arm. That'll be his first.
Looked like PT came out a little bit more energy here in this third quarter than they did to start the game. And I guess they thought it was just going to be a slow-paced, methodical, posted-up inside ball game, and it was far from that in the first half.
Yeah, Tennessee Heat had other ideas there.
Looks like they have gone to the man, and let's see what Tennessee does with that. Oh, Dismang had Pike on his hip there for a second, but a good closeout. Now he'll set up down on the baseline. Goes to his right, lost the ball initially, and then Thomes reach in and grabs it and going to have a jump ball. But it'll stay down at this end, it looks like.
Yeah, Scott, I don't think Tennessee has adjusted their offense yet. I think they're still running their zone offense against this man-to-man if I'm watching it. So they may not be aware that PT has switched out of that 2-3.
Bond going to bring it in under his own basket.
Well, now that you just told them, somebody's going to call the coach.
Well, hopefully they didn't rely on us to help with the scouting or they're in big trouble. On the drive, up and under, Bond no good, but up over his own head. Well, nice putback by Dismang.
Dismang's having himself a ball game.
Yeah, that was a nimble move there for a big man. He was under the basket and just shot it up over his head and in.
That's 10 points for him. Second player in double figure along with Thatcher Bond.
43-22, Tennessee in control. Warriors trying to do everything they can. This veteran team brought so many back for one goal, and that was to make it to the undisputed championship. Oh, Aguilar's shot looked to be on line, but falls a little short. Askin gets a rebound, sets things back up with Bond. You talked about the history at the half. Jeremy, you and I, these two teams faced last year, and it was Gross' brother.
I bet PT probably tried to forget that as quick as they could.
This end of the court, too, if I'm not mistaken. Lewis on the drive, gets past Pike.
Yeah, Ben.
Another steal, Lewis, and then he's pushed. And a foul on Mitchell Morgan, his second.
Lewis, what an explosive player, is he not? Yeah. Good gracious.
And so explosive that it took him halfway up the stands to be able to stop. I mean, he was flying.
Good thing they were going upstairs. I don't know telling how long he'd have ran if it had been flat. But back to last year, the Ben Groth highlight reel of Nationals last year on a last-second inbound play. They were inbounding right here in front of us, threw it cross court to the right wing, and he banked in a three to win it against PT at the buzzer. What an unbelievable game that was last year.
And some of the fuel to why this team wanted to come back. Several of those players, Jones, Pike, Aguilar, wanted to come back and try to win a title.
Yeah.
And right now they have run into a buzzsaw by the name of Tennessee Heat. Dismang, the dish off, up and under. Oh, Bond almost had it, but rolled it too long. And, oh, you hate to see this. Thomes last night, he had an issue with his hamstring, and he's all taped up. And then that time he just had to pull up, and you hate to see that for the Warriors. He's such a crucial player trying to play through it. Last night he went out of the game late in the second half and looked like he was limping a little. Tonight you hadn't seen it at all, but that time, I mean, immediately he pulled up, and boy, he's got a hamstring injury that is not something you want to play with. If you've ever played basketball, when you get a hamstring injury, it is not something you can play through.
Yeah, and that's tough to play through with somebody that plays with the speed that he does and the aggression.
Yeah, absolutely. Trainer's going to look him over, and he'll be in our prayers for sure, hoping he's okay. Meanwhile, his team's got to try to figure out a way to win without him. On the spin move by Aguilar, no good. Lewis with the rebound.
Yeah, PT just not doing a good enough job right now boxing out
Lewis.
the guards.
And that time on the rebound, Groth tried to jump and throw it off a Pike, but his foot was out of bounds when he grabbed the ball. So the official right there to make the call. Ball will go back to the Warriors. 4 minutes. Just over 4 minutes left in this third quarter. And it has been the Tennessee Heat just dominating. Here's Pike for three. That's too strong, but no one there on the other side except for number 5, Mitchell Morgan, gets his first points of the game. Warriors cut into that lead. It's now down to 21. 3:53 to go, and we're going to have a timeout.
Yeah, we're midway through the third quarter here. And for PT, Toby Pike only has 5 points, and they're down 21. He's going to have more points than that in order for them to have a comeback in this ball game. He's going to have to start asserting himself offensively and just demanding the ball offense and try to see if he can start dominating the paint.
Yeah, it just seems like Tennessee, one, keyed in on him, but two, the pace is so fast. It's not even really allowing PT to set up an offense. Like as soon as they get it, Tennessee's off and running, and the rhythm is so hard for a big player like him to play at. He needs a slower game, and clearly Tennessee has controlled the tempo of this game from start to finish.
Yeah, when you've got two burners like Lewis and Asian, I mean, when they put it into their fifth gear, there's not many players that are going to be able to stay with them, and they're just absolutely, when they decide to run, it's over. They are going to get to the basket, and, I mean, you're backpedaling, and they have really just attacked for most of the game. They had that little spell where they kind of backed things out, and I think we're trying to pull the Warriors out of that zone like we talked about, but this Heat team is just, they're dangerous.
But that was about the only time the score even closed a little bit. They got it down to 15, but as soon as they open it up again, then we're back up to 21 again. Yeah. So it's when they're pressuring the ball like this and controlling tempo, they're a dangerous team.
It begs the question, like you said, that the way that the deficit was starting to shrink was really their own fault. I mean, they got out of their game.
Yeah, they're not right. And then all of a sudden now, then PT wants to slow it down. You allowed them to kind of fall into a comfort zone for them.
Tennessee with the inbounds, leading it by 21, under 4 to go here, third quarter. The winner advances to face MHEA, trying to win their 5th straight undisputed championship. Tennessee, if they can hold on, will try to win their very first. This is already further than they've ever been in this tournament, trying to make it to the final game.
And if this score holds up, what a game will we have tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah. Some Tennessee cooking. On the Heat. Oh, man, if Bond could have caught that cleanly, he had a wide open look. There's a feed to Dismang. Dismang backs in. Pike with the block. Jones comes up with the board. Going the other way. Timothy Jones, and lost his footing and traveled. Another turnover for the Warriors, and they pretty much got to play clean here on out if they want any hope of being able to come back in this one.
Yeah, it's going to start on the defensive side. They're going to have to stack stops on top of each other, but they're also going to have to put scores with it offensively, and they just haven't done that enough tonight consistently.
No, Tennessee slowed down offensively. They had, 26 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Now we're later in the third, and they got 45. So they've slowed down offensively, but PT just cannot get anything going on the offensive end.
Yeah, that time Pike reached around on the entry pass to Dismang, got called for the foul.
Tennessee scored 26 first quarter points, 13 in the second quarter.
Tennessee, they'll drive into the corner of the paint and then back it out. Oh, there's a nice feed to Dismang. Got behind Pike. The dish by Sinicola. And Dismang continues his great game.
Once again, paint touches. I know you and Jesse talk about that a lot, Thomas.
Well, Jesse and I are both point guard, you understand. So certain things die hard, So all we talk on is paint touch because I see the lens, I see the game through the lens of a point guard. And so when I watch playing with bigs like this, it's like if you can get in, you not only open up opportunities for your shooters in the corners, but you also open up for lobs and dishes to your bigs. And I wish I saw more guards doing what honestly Tennessee's guards are starting to do. They're getting in the paint and they're dropping off, and now the players around them are looking better, feeling better, and now you have this offensive juggernaut that we're seeing right now.
That time Pike was triple teamed, and Sinicola rips the ball away. Another turnover for the Warriors. When he gets it, you can just see it's an attack of white jerseys all around him. Here comes Lewis to his left. Up and under. Man, if he'd hit that shot, what an acrobatic move, but unable to finish that one. Quickly the other way come the Warriors. Aguilar, he's connected on a few threes. This time the two-point jumper is no good, follows his miss. Got a whistle, and going to be out of bounds on the Warriors. Tennessee in complete control right now. The combination of the guards with Lewis, Bond, Asigan, and Sinicola with their bigs, Banker, Dismang, and Groth have just absolutely dominated. And that time, almost like a triple screen, Lewis just runs free for the easy two.
We caught a horn set there, Scott. So he brought both his bigs up to the high post, rolled off the one to the right. There was no help in the paint. Easy two.
And then on the other end, Pike went up, and Bond just kind of swung at the ball. I mean, he just tried to jump and knocked Pike down. He immediately tried to help him up and let him know, man, there's no harm intended there. Just playing aggressive and trying to knock that ball out. But he gets called for the foul. There's a nice find by Pike. Put back by, or the layup by Isaac Aguilar. That's his first bucket of the game, and that tells you something. Isaac's such an important part of this run they've made to the Final Four, but been quiet so far tonight.
Yeah, I said before the game, in order for PT, in my opinion, to win this game, they were going to have to get 25 at minimum from Toby, Pike, and they were going to need at least two other guys to possibly try to get to 10, and they haven't even been close to that in all three aspects.
Sinicola that time had a layup that probably would have counted in the NBA, but a little too many steps here on homeschool basketball.
That might be a stretch even there. I think he got in about 6 steps.
Yeah, it was a lot. 35 seconds left in this period. 49-26, Tennessee in charge. Trying to finish off the job tonight and make it to the undisputed championship against their fellow Tennessee team, MHEA.
So now Tennessee's holding for the last shot. A ref is counting. He's got to make a move to the basket.
Such a strong ball handler. Boy, we haven't even, Askin's not even been in the game for a while. He's been on the bench while he watches his team just keep building their lead. Here's Bond, tried a late three. That was partially blocked by the Warriors, and that's the way things will end here in the third. The Tennessee Heat on fire, leading the Warriors 49-26 as we head to the fourth quarter of this boys 18U Division I Final Four. Well, here we go. Final quarter of action here. Boys 18U Division I Final Four game, where it has been the Tennessee Heat from the get-go, grabbing the lead and just absolutely building on it. And right now they've got a 23-point lead. But Pike, a nice start for the PT Warriors as he spins around his man, puts in another bucket for himself. That's his 7th point of the night. But he has been mostly contained by this Tennessee team. And then on the drive straight to the bucket, Bond, they spread the floor, and it was wide open lane that he takes down for the layup. Coach's son having a game. Here's Aguilar for 3. Got it.
Speaking of having a game, David Aguilar is that's his 4th 3 of the game.
Yeah.
He's been most of the offense for PT, haven't found much else to get going.
14 of their 31 points by Aguilar on his outside shot. Tennessee still in charge. That pass, I don't know how Bond caught that. His defender didn't turn around, and so he just went over his shoulder. Here's Craig Lewis. Lewis operating out top to Banker. They're going to take the time on this, find the shot they want. 6:52 to go here. 51-31. The lead is 20. Inbounds to Lewis. He will bring it over the timeline. Look to the bench. They call the play out. And they get it in motion now. Lewis around Pike. Boy, they had Dismang flashing into the lane, but good collapse by the Warriors there. Heat working it around. Here comes Bond on the drive, and the lane was wide open. I don't know why he didn't go ahead and shoot it.
Got caught in the air, and I think he saw Lewis early. Lewis had cut in by that time and just missed him.
Off the miss. There is Houston. He can't get it. Pike puts it up and in, and the foul. Pike looks like he might have taken a shot there.
Again, Pike does a great job of keeping the ball high. It's one of the hardest things to teach a big player like Pike.
Yep.
Bring it down the load. All of a sudden, all the guards grab it. He kept it high, finished, and got the and one.
And he's played through some pain here 2 nights ago in their game against Aggieland as he has the miss. And the catch by Aguilar, and then the ball goes out of bounds off of Tennessee. He, on a block, looked like he strained his abdomen, and he, I think just there again, might have re-aggravated that as he went up and hit that shot. He was kind of holding his midsection and looked like he grimaced in some pain. We'll see if he can keep playing through that. I'm sure it's going to take a lot to get him off the court right now. Spins. Thought about the shot, but then found Jones in the corner. Jones drives. His shot is blocked, but a foul on Banker. BT getting a little bit of a flurry here. They've cut it down to 18.
Yeah, you wonder, you hope it's not too little too late, but it is showing a little bit of fire now. First time we've seen that probably since mid-second quarter.
Yeah. Free throw, no good, though. Timothy Jones, an 82% free throw shooter this year. But we have not heard it from him at all tonight. Averaging 13 points. He's had a great Nationals week. But tonight, Tennessee has just taken him out of his game. Second one is good. That's his first points. Lead down to 17. It's as close as it's been in a while. 6 minutes to go in this one. The Heat calling out a play. Just trying to bring this one home and set up a matchup in the undisputed against the MHEA Eagles. They would love to get their first, and MHEA would love to get their 5th in a row. But they got to finish this game here. Tennessee with the ball and the lead. Lewis to Banker. Assigan back into the game. Assigan drives and kicks it out. Here's Dismang. Thought about a 3 and then thought better of it. And they will reset. Bond. 5:23 to go. Clock ticking.
Smart decision there by Disdain, because if he shoots that 3 and misses it, PT gets it and run out, that could flip momentum a little bit.
Yeah, there's no need to rush anything. You guys are in control. Let the game come to you. Don't air it out like we mentioned earlier.
Right.
But let's wait for good shots. And right now, PT's hesitant to come out man-to-man. So now Isaac Aguilar's coming out to put a little pressure on him.
Here's Bond again. He's had a couple layups that way when the Warriors tried to put some pressure on and found an open lane. Wow, they're just dribbling the ball around and just taking time off the clock. That time, Assigan, and a foul. Number
12 or 21.
21. There you go, Timothy Jones.
A little dyslexia. Gonna be a full timeout by PT there.
So, guys, we go into these final 4:49. We'll keep it here because this is a Final Four game. And what do you do if you're PT Warriors right now? You've seen that you've been able to trim the lead just a little, but right now the clock is not on your side, and it looks like that Tennessee's going to make them force some action here. And you don't even have enough fouls. Only one foul so far in this quarter. What do you do to try to get the ball back and get back into this game and cut that lead down to single digits?
Well, only one foul so far in this quarter. That tells you that you need to be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more assertive, trying to go for steals. Because if you're able to cut this lead down and get to a point where you're going to have to start fouling, it's going to take you more time off the clock to get to the bonus. So if you can assert some of those fouls now, trying to get some steals, maybe get a couple of steals other than fouls, maybe you can flip the momentum a little bit, cut into the lead, but you can't just sit here and let them dribble the clock out.
One of the problems, Scott, is that this being behind does not cater well to a slower tempo team.
Right.
The answer to your question, I think, is ball pressure. You're going to have to make Tennessee Heat uncomfortable. I just don't know if PT has the personnel to put pressure on these guards for Tennessee.
Yeah, and who does? I mean, there's very few teams that are going to be able to take on Asigan and Lewis. I mean, they're just so sure-handed with the ball.
But now you're seeing it. They're giving an attempt at it, right? It looks like they're in a 1-3-1 zone now.
Yep.
Trying to put some pressure. And so it's a change up from the 2-3. It is a more aggressive zone. For those who are watching, a 1-3-1 means your top guard is taking the lead at half court. You have three across the middle, and your bottom guy, who's probably going to be Pike, is under the rim. The weakness of that 1-3-1 is your deep corners.
Yep.
So if Tennessee will work that ball, there's always corner threes against the 1-3-1. So the defense is trying to force turnovers. Offense is going to attack the baseline. But if you're in Tennessee, if you're in PT's call, I actually like the call by the coach here because I don't think they can match up man. But this should make them a little uncomfortable out top.
You got to think Tennessee coach Joe Bond is talking about that right now because early on when they were in that zone, we saw some early threes from the corners by Bond, and you got to think that he's like, okay, guys, we go back to what we were doing in the first quarter, and we saw what happened there.
Well, yeah, but at this point, you're PT. You're down 17, 4 minutes to go. You're pretty desperate at this point, so you'll give up a corner three, I think, at this point in the game.
Yeah.
Just try to get the ball back.
And if you do get the ball in the corner, the guards are not as lengthy, so maybe you can get a trap in the corner and get a turnover.
They're trying. I like the 1-3-1 look that he called here. You're vulnerable in the paint. You're vulnerable in the corner, but you've got to do something that's kind of show a different look.
Good job by the Warriors to kind of back down and make sure those corners are cut. Oh, Pike with the block. Oh, and we got a whistle. Thought he had a clean one there as Dismang went up, but the official on the right side said that there was a foul.
Scott, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of this look earlier with him. I feel like PT's personnel caters well to this defense because Pike is as big as he is. He's pretty agile.
Yeah,
he moves well, and oftentimes that's the key to a 1-3-1 is you have a big active big who can move.
Right.
Because then he can cover a lot of ground and block shots like we just saw Pike do.
Dismang sings both. 14 points on the night for him. PT Warriors trying to climb this mountain. Here's a three by Jones, no good. He's been unable to connect all night. Spin move by Aguilar, blocked inside by Banker. He gets it back, throws it up, no good. Gets it back again. Another opportunity for the Warriors. They feed it to Pike down low. Pike takes it in between Dismang and Banker, and he draws the foul. Foul going to be called on Jacob Banker. I believe that's his second. 3:55 to go.
See, this is the type of offense that I thought we were going to see in the first half from PT, is just try to feed PT, get it into the post, and then from there being able to kick it out to the guards. But the problem was Tennessee's relentless defense in the first half didn't allow PT's guards to get the ball into Toby Pike, so they weren't allowed to start that, and you got to wonder if we're a little bit too late.
Sinks the second but missed the first. Pike has improved so much on his free throw shooting, but tonight just 2 out of 5. Here come the Heat. Up by 18. Under 4 to go. And got a whistle. Going to be a foul on number 11, Wyatt Houston. I believe that's his third. Tennessee with the ball. Both teams with 3 fouls this quarter, so neither team in the bonus yet. Inbounds by the Heat. And that time Lewis tried to spin around the double team and lost the ball. Official right there calls it the other way, and here come the Warriors. So they get one. They're going to have to get several of those strung together to be able to move on in this tournament. Deep three by Aguilar, no good. Follow-up miss by Houston. There's Pike again. Pike goes up, has the ball grabbed from below, and puts it up and in. Pike so strong down there.
Yeah, Thomas, you got to wonder if coach for PT Warriors is now wondering maybe he should have went to this 1-3-1 maybe in the second quarter, and maybe they wouldn't have.
Yeah, it's hard to know. He knows his team better than I, right? But with the personnel, looks like you may have a little more gas in the tank from a pressure standpoint than he showed. I was kept thinking man, but now that I'm seeing the 1-3-1 and kind of this diamond trap, I like what I'm seeing.
That time, just a reach around, grabbed him by the jersey as Askin took off. Mitchell Morgan with the foul, and he will be at the free throw line as that is now 5 on the Warriors. Isaac Askin really set the tone early with 8 points, and he misses a free throw, uncharacteristic of him. He really hasn't done much since that first half, but they haven't needed him to because up to this point he has really been on.
Yeah, he had 7 points in the first quarter.
Oh, missed them both, but Dismang runs down the rebound. And then we got a whistle, and is that a timeout or a foul? Going to be a foul.
Yeah, I think Toby Pike got a little too deep on that rebound, and it came out just over his head. Dismang able to get a hold of it.
And that's not where you want him. You want Pike around the basket and trying to chase down, and Dismang, boy, he has been absolutely on fire tonight. He's hitting everything. 3 for 3 now on free throws. We'll also see now if he is immune to the announcer's jinx, and yes, he is.
Well, Jeremy mentioned this a couple times in the broadcast. For PT to win this game, they need a big game from Pike. And you got to ultimately give credit to Tennessee and their bigs because they really helped neutralize him on the defensive end.
Lewis that time tried to split the defenders. Whistle and a foul. That's again on Houston, and Houston's starting to pile him up. I believe that's his 4th. And with a lead at 18, 3:06 to go, it looks like PT is just going to be playing as aggressive as possible, either getting the steal or the foul, one of the two. And we got a timeout for both teams to talk it over. So not to get ahead of ourselves, guys, but looking ahead with an 18-point lead, we just watched MHEA come away with an impressive, convincing win against the Red River Rattlers to advance to a game they've been in for 5 years in a row now. Tennessee will be the new kid on the block. With what we've seen, what do you think about the matchup tomorrow night if this ends up playing out this way?
My goodness, it's going to be a battle of guards and speed, and we're going to see a lot of paint touches, I believe, tomorrow night.
Yeah, I was going to say something similar. It looks like, all the good bigs we've seen in this tournament, when all the dust is settled, what you have, and not to discredit Dismang in the game he's played.
Right.
But you have elite guards on both sides.
Yeah.
Memphis runs 4 or 5 deep, and Tennessee's running about 4 guards deep as well. So it is going to be up-tempo. It is going to be attacking the rim. It may be that Dismang could end up being kind of a difference maker in that game because Memphis plays almost no one of any size in the paint. So up-tempo, fast-paced matchup. It should be a lot of fun.
Be the Tennessee Speedway, man. Both teams just going to be running. We could have a triple digits on both sides. Wouldn't that be fun?
It would be a heck of a game.
Lewis going to be at the free throw line. His team up 18, 3:06 away from their first trip ever to the undisputed national championship game as he sinks the first. He'll get one more. Heat back off all their players to play defense. Greg Lewis misses the second. Here come the Warriors. Just trying to get something positive to give them some hope here. Three-pointer by Aguilar, no good. Houston chases down the rebound. Stuck in the corner, feeds it to Pike. Pike drives, just rolls it in with his right hand. Pretty shot, but the lead's still at 17, 2:43 to go. And right now you can't trade buckets, and then Assigin just takes off, and they've got to reach out and grab the jersey, and he will be again at the free throw line.
Yeah, Toby Pike has 9 points just in the fourth quarter alone, but they weren't able to get him going early in the game, and I believe that's been the big difference here. They just settled offensively for outside shots, and the pressure defense from Tennessee Heat kind of affected them.
He hits the first, gets one more. It sinks the second. Again, this game's not over yet, but you just got to think, kind of licking your chops thinking about Thomas and Asigan going at each other. I mean, you got so many players that are going to just be fun to watch going against each other. You look at Elijah Guess and Zay Harris. You got the Mathis brothers. You got Adebayo outside. And then on the other side of this, you've got the guards with Sinicola, Lewis, Bond, and Asigan. And then the big guys, Banker, Dismang, and Groth. And that's going to be just some great one-on-one matchups tomorrow. If both teams decide not to play zone, that's going to be crazy.
That's what I was wondering. So Memphis likes to play. MHEA often plays man-to-man pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Both times I've seen Tennessee play, they have gone 2-3 zone. It's going to be interesting. How is Tennessee going to try to match with Memphis? Are they going to play the bigs? Are they going to play Dismang, or are they going to stay in their zone? Because Memphis can shoot. And I'm just going to be curious how these coaches start that game when we open tomorrow night.
Yeah, so it won't just be the players. It's going to be the coaching. What's going to happen? And, I mean, I think most of the time when you look at a matchup like that, and Coach Bond has done a great job with his team, but the experience of MHEA, but that's the one place they don't have experience. That's their first-year coach. And so this is the first time he's coached in those undisputed national championships. And so it'll be new for both of the coaches, and it'll be really it'll be a fun watch how the strategies work out for both.
Yeah, for sure.
It's another free throw. It is 60-39, 2 minutes left. Warriors trying to get some points on the board. They got to do something. There's a block by Banker, and Asigan going to take it the other way. He slows it down initially, just drops it back to Lewis, and then Lewis is going to back it out. Smart move there to just keep killing clock. 1:51 to go. Heat almost at the finish line. Another foul on the Warriors. It'll be Bond at the free throw line again.
You know, guys, if I'm Tennessee right now and I'm watching that play in transition with Asigan and I think it was Dismang down there, I'm thinking about, okay, I don't want to get an injury at this point. Up-tempo play. Nothing intentional, of course. But you might consider start pulling these guys. You have a big game tomorrow, and here, as I'm speaking, he's bringing in subs. And maybe he saw the same play I saw.
Yep.
And you want to keep these guys healthy and fresh because you have a big game tomorrow. Yeah, those are two in transition. And just keep them healthy. Get them fresh, get them focused, ready for tomorrow.
You got a few of their 16U guys down on the bench, but they're not going to come into this game. Going to leave the rest of the guys out there. The Warriors down by 23. That three is no good. Ball batted. Lewis comes away with it. Oh, up ahead, there's Sinicola. He lobs it up to Groth, who got too far into the basket. He was going to try to put an exclamation point on this one. Faked. Oh, nice fake of the three. Aguilar, though, can't get it. Pike with the rebound, and Bond was falling backwards, Thatcher Bond, and he gets called for the foul.
As you mentioned earlier, Coach only plays 7 players for Tennessee Heat, so he's already made his 2 substitutions. So he got a couple players here vying to come into the game, and the assistant coaches just go sit down. We're going to finish this out.
And you know what their hope is? Put me in coach tomorrow night after we build a lead and are winning our first undisputed. Just let me get some minutes on there, some experience. But, boy, they're going to have a tall order in front of them with MHEA on the cusp of 5 straight, making a historic run that's only happened one other time.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting game for sure. The absence of the big man from Memphis Eagles, we're going to see how that plays out with Dismang and how how he plays a big part in that game. He may be the difference maker and may be the key factor in the game, whether good or bad.
Well, MHEA also, they've got some height on the bench. I mean, they've got David Abram, who's a one of the stars on the 16U team. They got a couple other guys. So we might also see what we've seen in the past with one of these younger players as Aguilar, Isaac this time sinks the jumper. We might see what one of those younger players all of a sudden step into their role and make some history, because that seems to have been the theme through this whole run. There's been other players that keep stepping up that are younger, and then they fill the role left by the stars who graduate. That time a foul will put Lewis back at the line. Craig Lewis and Bond and Askin, those three, and Dismang, really, that foursome really just set the tone for this game early on. And it was almost like they came out with a flurry of punches, and before PT could even catch their breath, they looked up and they were down by 10 or 15 points.
Yeah, they forced the issue from the jump. You could tell they were focused. They were ready. They really haven't looked back. You know, when they got up 16 or so in the first quarter and have maintained that the entire game.
Yeah, they kind of took the foot off the gas pedal there in the second quarter.
Pike expected somebody to be behind him. Senicola runs and grabs it, and then Aguilar just with the shove so they don't get an easy layup. And Banker kind of acting out what he would have done if they'd alley-ooped it there, but we'll never know. As Senicola was fouled, and he will have to shoot free throws.
This is going to be his first opportunity to get points on the board.
And he does it. First free throw is good. So we'll have to do our research, but to my knowledge, Tennessee and Memphis have not played each other. Even though they're both in Tennessee, they're separated by about 4 hours, as the Heat are based out of Nashville, and Memphis plays in the Big South. Tennessee plays in the Midwest as Pike scores again. So we'll do some research on that, but it's going to be interesting to see these two playing each other.
They have played already once this year.
Oh, got it.
They played at the tip-off tournament back in November, and Memphis won that game, I believe, pretty handily.
Interesting.
If I'm not mistaken. Now,
and that's where you see, does the team grow? Do they get better?
5 months ago, both teams have improved and have played, and Memphis is actually down a player in this tournament that they had in that tournament. I don't know if you remember Kamar, their big guy.
Yes.
So he got hurt early January, something with his back, and he's been out since then. And he was their second leading scorer early in the season until that happened. And so they had him in that game to battle Dismayne, and anxious to see how that turns out tomorrow.
Yeah, and we've seen it, but we've also seen them. I mean, remember a couple of years ago, Dawkins didn't play because he was out with an injury, and they still won the title. And then he was able to come back last year and basically be the MOP in the finals. Had a dunk right there, I remember, in the championship. And so they've done this before.
He tore a ligament on Monday last year at the Nationals and played it out anyway. So they've been through it. They've seen each other. They know what each other does. I'm sure they'll both go back and watch film tonight, probably tomorrow, install a game plan, and see who executes it to perfection tomorrow.
We do have some bench players into the game now, and we don't even have them on the roster. So 23, 25, and 32, and 41 sinks the three.
I'll tell you what, he got himself in the scorebook there.
He said, I'm not out here just running clock.
Isaac Aguilar tries a three. That's no good.
I think the fan there wanted to see a dunk by Toby Pike, but
boy, he has racked up the points here in this quarter. 32 going to take a three. Oh, I thought he had it. And then a putback by 25.
I think Toby Pike probably could have got a block there, but he just let him get the bucket.
So the clock winds down. It ends the season of the PT Warriors one step short of where they wanted to be. And the Tennessee Heat, for the first time in program history, advance to the undisputed national championship game where they will face their cross-state rival, the MHEA Eagles. We'll be back now as we shift gears. It will be the girls' 18U Final Four. Up next, West Michigan and HEA in a Final Four battle.